In this video, we're going to be discussing some rumors around the Montreal Canadiens and some potential changes they might make going forward. And that's coming up next. Everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey, the channel where we analyze and discuss all 31 NHL teams with an unbiased opinion. Alright, jumping into today's topic, let's take a look at some of the rumors floating around the Montreal Canadiens. It's been speculated that Marc Bergevin's obviously been trying to make a trade or two to try to improve his club after they get off to a dreadful 1-6-1 start, including a 3-game road trip through California where they got swept out there and looked pretty bad. The main player that seems to be rumored to be traded by the Montreal Canadiens is Alex Galchenyuk. Obviously, it's been well noted that he's struggled hard this season and last after putting up a 30-goal campaign the year before. Galchenyuk's been very inconsistent the last couple of seasons as he seems to have a hard time finding his way. At the same time, the Habs seem to be inconsistent on where they place him. He bounces around the lineup more than a pinball, going from first line to fourth line to second line, center to the wing, back to center. So I do blame the Habs for part of his development issues, but at the same time, Galchenyuk seems to be a tad bit lazy at times and just doesn't seem to have his heart in it. So I'm not sure what's going on, and obviously that relationship seems to be strained, and it might not be a good fit for either club anymore. So would a trade benefit both parties? Absolutely, I think it would. However, where does he go and what do they get back? That's the big question. Alex Galchenyuk, due to his struggles right now, probably wouldn't demand a very high price tag. Would the Habs be willing to sell while his value is low just to move the contract off the books and get back what they can? Or do they want to continue to work with this guy and hope that things improve enough that they might be able to swing a better deal later this year? Leave me a comment down below. What do you think? Do you think the Habs should trade Galchenyuk? And if so, what do you think the return would be? I'm not really sure exactly where he would end up. There was a lot of speculation in the last couple of weeks that the Penguins might be interested in looking to make a move for him, but they've just recently picked up Riley Sheehan. I know they're not quite the same player, but if you look at the Penguins' cap space, without moving out significant money, it just doesn't seem plausible that they could go pick up a guy like Galchenyuk at this point in time. I think it might be a good time for the Habs just to kind of sit tight on him. As much as they do need to do something to improve their team, I'm not sure that's the answer right now just because the return would likely be low. A rumor that seemed to be floated around a little bit, and I'm not sure if there's really much truth to this, but I've heard that there was some chatter around Max Pacioretty. Obviously, that would be a little bit of a surprise considering his past performance. He's been there a long time and a proven high goal scorer for them, currently their captain, and really has a very friendly contract considering what kind of numbers he normally puts up. Yes, he's had a struggle to the season to start 2017-18, but at the same time, you're not going to bail on a long-term player that's a proven 40-goal guy after 7 or 8 games. That just doesn't seem crazy. So obviously, I don't think there's a lot of truth to the Pacioretty rumors now. I would not be surprised if teams were inquiring if he was available. Obviously, when you have a guy with a proven scoring pedigree on a team that's struggling with a very cap-friendly contract, yeah, I'm sure they're going to get calls. I wouldn't be surprised if they moved him, but at this point, they need to consider all options. The strangest parts of the Habs struggles this year is that they've actually had a high number of shots on goal. The shots on goal are coming in large numbers, yet the puck doesn't seem to want to go in. So the question is, why? Well, obviously, one thing that I've analyzed before is not only are they getting a lot of shots on goal, but you do have to look at the quality of the shots and the players taking the shots. Obviously, they don't have a lot of forwards with proven scoring ability around the net. Outside of Pacioretty, there really isn't much there. Obviously, Jonathan Drouin is a pretty good point producer, but he certainly is more of a setup guy and a pass-first kind of player. You got Brendan Gallagher, who's pretty good around the net, getting the dirty goals, but he's never really scored at a high rate. I mean, he could certainly be a solid 20 to 25 goal guy, but I think that's probably the ceiling for him. So obviously, they need to get more goals in Montreal, and they need to do something to make that happen. Otherwise, their season is not going to get any better. One last rumor I'm going to leave you with regarding the Montreal Canadiens. Now, a lot of this is pure speculation on my point, but I just wanted to get you guys thinking and talking to see what your thoughts are. Recently, there was an interview completed with Patrick Roy, who was asked if he was interested in returning to the NHL as an NHL head coach. Roy did acknowledge that obviously if he received any calls from teams about a coaching position, he would certainly listen, but that he was much more interested in the management side of the game. Obviously, Patrick Roy has experience in coaching and managing as well through his days in junior, and seemed quite interested in being much more in a management role than a coaching position. Obviously, with that in mind, there's been lots of speculation on my part, and I've seen lots of comments around the fact that maybe Marc Bergevin's time in Montreal should be up. Obviously, if the Habs did consider making a change in the general manager position, wouldn't it be interesting to see Patrick Roy return to Montreal? This certainly was speculated in the past between coaching and GM vacancies when they've had them, and it's never obviously come to be. So as a note, there have not been any confirmed media reports linking Roy to the Montreal Canadiens and discussing this potential change. However, I do think it's fair to assume that Marc Bergevin's on the hot seat. At the same time, I don't think it's fair to assume this is going to happen anytime soon. I think Habs ownership is long-term very happy with Bergevin, and I think they're going to be patient with this. I don't see them making a move very quickly. I can see them giving him some time to try to make some moves to improve this team. Now, if it doesn't happen, if this losing skid drags on throughout the year, I would not be completely shocked, if not during the season, then during the offseason again, that Bergevin might be dismissed. If Bergevin were dismissed, whether it be this during the season or during the offseason. If Patrick Roy hasn't obtained an NHL job before then, I just think it's an interesting thing for the Habs to consider and something for fans to discuss. Obviously, Patrick Roy left Montreal on bad terms when he was a player, but it's certainly proven that he can be a very successful coach and manager in hockey. I think it would be a very interesting move, and I'd like to know your thoughts. If Marc Bergevin is dismissed as general manager, should Patrick Roy be considered for that position as the next GM of the Montreal Canadiens? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. So if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and want to keep up with any future videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button in the middle of your screen. Off to the left, you'll see one of our more recent uploads as well. So click that to keep watching Top Shelf Hockey.